Okay, welcome to this video and problem number 2 that a lot of hunters run into. A lot of hunters find where big bucks bed, and I've been showing you on some of the on the site some of the beds that we have found and some of the characteristics that go with them. And so, having an education about beds is very important. But it's how does he get to the bed successfully for 5.5, 6.5 years without being shot. Now I'm going to draw up kind of a multi-scenario here. What I want to use first of all is I want to use just a wide open picked or winter wheat field. Anyway, it's short grass. In other words, sight can be seen. He can see across this thing real good. And now we're going to use over here, we're going to use kind of a brush line down in here that kind of covers this corner over here, and then maybe another one over this way. And then we're going to say that into the back of this brush line we have us a hardwoods, an open hardwoods. We'll just put that on there, open woods. Okay, now I want you to understand that this is really thick. In other words, it's almost, it'd be real hard for a human to walk through this, and this is where we're going to utilize the buck. The buck's bed is positioned here, okay, on the edge of the field. Now, the reason why this buck bed is positioned there is for multiple reasons. The first thing that causes a buck to be conditioned to go to a bed is, like I said, he kind of shows up at a spot in his travels, and maybe he found it when he was 3.5, 2.5, or whatever, and he bedded down and he didn't have any trouble there. And so when in the area, he kind of naturally returns to that spot. It's like me when I walk through the door at night. Sooner or later I make my way to my easy chair. I may take several routes to get there, but that's where I end up, is in my easy chair. So the big buck is bedded here. The hunter is sitting over here in a stand, okay, on this edge of this field over here, and he watches this big buck come out of this field at night, like so. And we're going to say for right now that he is doing that with the wind, and we're going to call that a northeast wind. Now, if I were sitting here and I watched a big buck come to an open field like that, I would realize that the only way for me to shoot him is where? It's on the edge, if I can get in there. Problem is I can't. Why? Because he's already there ahead of me. So I'm not going to be able to shoot that buck there. So trying to take him off the edge is an impossibility. This buck, when people say, oh, I seen the buck tailwind in there. Let's switch it for just a second, and let's just say that morning the wind was like that out of the southwest. And let's just say that the big buck's approach to that bed was across this field, and the hunter also saw that and saw him disappear into there. He's traveling with the wind. Person's going to say, well, doesn't that go against everything that I'm talking about? Absolutely not. The buck has no danger. He can see. He's using this wind to protect his rear, and that's not even really necessary in a high-pressured area. My point is that he's tailwinding. That tells me that he's bedded on the edge.